Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Sunday, the 30th of April. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. All right, Saturday night upload for Sunday selections. So you might be watching this Sunday, you might be watching it Saturday night. What have we got for Sunday? It's the return of the Sunday series. And yeah, I've had a look through. So here's my summation of what I found on Sunday. I found three horses at Sligo, three horses I liked, and I found three races in the UK, two at Musselburgh and one at Wetherby. So I've had a lot of debate. The horse had my horse selections, had 10 in total, 7 across the UK and 3 in Ireland. And I've had a lot of doing and throwing about how the staking plan looks, because I wrote out a staking plan that looked quite different to usual, and I realised I was like, it's very much win stacked more than it is place stacked. And obviously my normal modus operandi is to be trying to string horses together for places, and I was like, the way I've put that staking plan together, it's pretty much two winners or bust. So I've ended up somewhere in between. I've made it into 4 bets. It's £15 stake. First race is 320 Sligo. So later on Sunday, 320 Sligo first race. Yeah, and I've got four different bets for 15 quid. So overall, there's bits of it that look smaller stake than usual. That's because I've duplicated a lot of the horses. So I think all bar 2 horses, they're in 2 different types of bet. I'm happy with what it is. It's an interesting staking plan. I'm sorry I've not made it straightforward. But I've got 10 horses. You do what you want with them. So this is how I'm doing it for the channel, I've kind of made it interesting for a Sunday. So if you're following on exactly, that's what we should have. So before we go through all that, we'll go through Saturday. And Saturday it ended up being just slightly ahead, but I think that'll only be the case for Sky and 365 because of course are in. So I think if you didn't have either of those bookmakers, you probably would have been a couple of quid behind, I think. But it depends on kind of what people got for bog. So I got it as 30 on, 32, 30 back, which, to be honest, it might sound a bit dumb. I wish I had more days like that recently. Like it's been sort of disaster, or we've made some sort of small win. There's not been many days where we've had a bit of an interest and we've come out basically breaking even, and there was a lot more of those last year, so it made it a bit more comfortable. So let's run through it quickly. Terrible is how that one went. I liked all of those at a price, and I haven't really got out to say other than none of them were that close. But that's why I do a staking plan, just because I might have some preferred horses and I've got some leans. My 4 favoured horses got turned over, but I still managed to come out slightly ahead. We then had this one, Highway Grey. I said it was a dodgy Easterby one, but it ran fantastic at the end. I think that one next time out is one to keep an eye on, but it'll probably be shorter price. That was placed. Cool Valor placed from absolutely way back. There's 2 that came from way back. Honor den Dajonk, that was hopefully going to come from really far back, but unfortunately fell. So that took us out, because we had 3 bets, bet 2, 4 and 6, where the third leg stuffed us. But then we saved the day with Dundori, came and won the last race quite nicely. So we had 2 places and a win, which should have paid out everywhere. So it all comes down to what prices you got. I got a minor 10p Rule 4 deduction on Cool Valor for that one. So that one got back more than half our stake. And then this Yankee bet looked terrible, but then we actually hit the winner in the last one, but it didn't count for anything because it was a Yankee. There was no single on it. So the first 3 were quite disappointing. If I say that, one out the placing streamed together, and then the next 2 were disappointing. So that was that one. Nothing back there. Bet 4, the win bet, Kitty's Light. Oh, Kitty's Light! What I love a great racing story. And we had 2 in that bet. So Kitty's Light and Hewitt both went and won nicely. Time Hill, I think it got done by the pace, to be honest. I think it was probably still the best horse, but they went really slow, and then they picked up the pace near the end, and he just got caught for speed. There's no speed in that horse, and then when they slowed down a bit, then he was sort of staying on towards the end. So yeah, we made profit on the bet, double money on the bet. So yeah, our win bets are keeping us afloat at the moment. But yeah, Kitty's like that. I mean, to win a Scottish Grand National and 7 days later go and win the Bet365 Gold Cup, there are not many horses that would even get close to doing that. Clearly it was well handicapped, but to be able to come back and recover, I'm really glad I included that in the selections. Okay, then we had this, we had Cool Valor placed, and we had it with a non-runner because those two were disappointing, so a few pence back on bet 5. And then bet 6 was where the variation was, so Corsa in 5 places on Sky. It was 5 on 365 until the last non-runner came out, and then they made it 4, but they honour the original 5 places. I've seen that a lot recently with 365. The only bookie will do that. So yeah, they honoured the original place terms, so it depends on when you put the bet on whether you got paid out on 365. Ballykeel went and ran a nice race and was second, and again the third leg let us down, and then we had a duffer and a non-runner. So it was place treble on one side and place single on the other. So place double on the other, but that was only if you've got Corsa in. So it made a difference, I think, overall about £4 or £5. So if you didn't have that, then you might have come down on the side of a couple of pounds losing, I think. And bet 7, nothing in the first leg. We had Dundori win the second leg, but it didn't matter on that one. So that was Saturday. We will move on to Sunday. And this is what I've done. This is what I've done. So this is like a hybrid bet. So I wanted to have one of the Sligo horses together, basically. And yeah, I've done it like this. So I've done 3 times 50p win doubles. So that's Celtic Manor 320 at 130, 425 Wild Shot 7 to 1, and 455 Pashmina 14 to 1. And then a 30p each way treble. So basically we'll double our money if they all place, and if we can get a couple of winners, we'll do all right. It wasn't worth doing place doubles on those, and I didn't want to put them in singles. So those two are featuring in other bets. Celtic Manor's a bit short for that. So yeah, we kind of need 2 winners would be lovely. 3 winners on that bet would be absolutely over the moon. So yeah, I find Sligo a tricky track. It's not a frequent fixture, so as in there's not a lot of meetings over the course of a year. It's hard to read the form. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It's quite tight. So yeah, I've plumped for those 3, but I wouldn't ever go big at Sligo. So that is bet 1. Bet 2. I've put my 4 best prices together in the Lucky 15. So it's a small stake one because they're all appearing in other bets. 335 Wetherby Fast Forward 14s, 455 Sligo Pashmina 14s, 515 Musselburgh Glasses Up 20s, 645 Musselburgh Resilience 18s, 12p each way Lucky 15, 360 a bet. I should say I've not put bookie advice on any of these. Basically, I'd rate Sky preferable on all the bets, and then it's much of a muchness, so I didn't worry about writing it on there. So there isn't anything kind of specific to avoid or go in after Sky. So it's Sky are slightly preferable on all bets. That's bet 2. Bet 3 is the next 4 prices in a Yankee. So 335 Wetherby Perfect Swiss 11s, 425 Sligo Wild Shot 7s, 550 Musselburgh Fairmac 11s, and 645 Musselburgh Edward Cornelius at 12s, 15p each way Yankee. 330 is your bet on bet 3. And then this originally was a lot more staked, and then I've reduced it down, so it's a £6 stake. So the 3 UK races, so basically as you'll see, I've got a Sligo bet, UK's combo bet, and then I've pulled some out to make 2 4-horse bets in between. So 335 Wetherby Fast Forward at 14s and Perfect Swiss at 11s. 515 Musselburgh Glasses Up 20s, Fairmac 11s. 645 Musselburgh Resilience 18s. I've added in the thin blue lines, not anywhere else, 12s. Edward Cornelius 12s. So this is 12 times 15p each way trebles. So any combination treble. And then I've doubled up the last two races, the Musselburgh races that are on ITV Racing for those that watch or can watch. So that's the two Musselburgh races, those Glasses at Fairmac, Resilience Thin Blue Line and Edward Cornelius, 6 times 20p each way doubles. That'll take you to £6 a bet for bet 4. And that is it. Yeah, so we'll see. Well, I mean, I need the horses to be good to start with, and then we'll worry about whether or not I got the staking plan half decent. It's up to you what you do. I put out what I'm doing on the staking plan. As you know, if you watch a long time, well, not everybody has. It all goes onto the channel account. So I have a Sky Bet account specifically. I say a Sky Bet account. We might have gone on to a few for the channel. That is used to place these bets. So even though they're tiny pences, eventually they get you and they restrict you. But yeah, it's all goes on the Sky Bet account, and that's what I've put on there. So whether or not you feel there's a way that you can make more money taking my selection, some people would argue the best way to make money is to not take them at all. But I would argue long term we're all right. So stats wise, we do go into this last day of the month in a nice enough position, which is a rarity in the last few months here. We will win, lose or draw, win for April. So we have had a good month of April, win, lose or draw. Also, because we're not betting more than £20, so I think we're up just over 20 quid for the week on channel stats. Only 15 stakes today. Win, lose or draw, we will make at least a tiny profit for the week, which means for the first time, miraculously, this channel year, I will have managed to do 2 profitable weeks, which last year was commonplace. This year, they've been harder to come by. So, yes, I'll be very delighted with that. It'd be really nice to finish the month on a nice note, but irrespective, we will come out this week slightly ahead, whatever. If we can make a nice day of it, then that's even better. But we've still got that year deficit. So just if you slot the clock on the 1st of January 2023 up until 29th of April, that period of time is a losing period of time. So that's what we're trying to sort out. It's all snapshots. So if you take that 4 months, we have lost overall in that 4 months. If you take just the last 2 months, we are up slightly on the last 2 months. If you take the 5 months, we are up. So 5 months are up, 2 months are up, but 4 months or even probably 3 months, we're down. So it's a long-term game. I've said it a gazillion times and I'll keep saying it. Long-term is what I would want to be judged on. I am not going to churn out billions of winners. I mean, I had 4 yesterday. That's pretty good for the channel. But I'm not here to give you winners. Ultimately, my strategy is about value and stringing horses placing together. And yes, I chuck in a few win bets. And they've done all right this week. But remember last week, we were dining out on a few nice lucky 15s and whatnot bets. So it was all place money. We didn't have any win bets last week, and we came out nicely. So I only do win bets when I kind of see them. I don't. I'm not. They're not bad, but I also like to put out a variety of bets on the channel, make it interesting. Overall, how I would judge my own statistics. With the win bets I put out, I would say do win. I would say because they do. They make money. I keep a record. Long term, they win, but the profit margin is lower than the each way bets. But what you do get with the win bets is you are generally risking less money, but to win less money. So therefore, we get a more frequent return, even though longer term the profit margin is not the same as the each way bets. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's why I just don't do them all the time. But I know people will be going, well, you've done win bets quite a lot this week and they've all made profit. They have made profit this week. They don't always. People will remember the time where the much maligned Win Trixie was a slated bet on this channel, and I defended it to the hilt. We have had periods where the Win Trixie has been downcast as the worst possible bet, but I stand by. Long term, it's good. It just doesn't make the same profit margin as the lucky 15s do. So that's that. Anything else I'm going to say? Outside chance. I'd say an outside chance. If I have a look through the Bank Holiday Monday stuff, if I think there's some particularly good stuff, outside chance I'll do a vid bank holiday Monday morning. Most likely I won't, and I might just put some stuff in the comments for Monday and I won't record it for the stats. But if I find anything particularly good, I might make a video, but I will update that and let people know. To be fair, I probably won't know until like early Monday morning. But I'll either put something in the comments to say yes, here's my selections, or you might find a video pop up. But either way, it'd be very unlikely I wouldn't find something. I'll put at least in the comments for Monday. And just to reiterate that, so if you are kind of newer, I know there's new people joining all the time. If you are new, I make videos 5 days a week: Tuesday, Wednesday night, Friday, Saturday morning, Saturday night. And that basically covers racing selections Wednesday to Sunday. I don't put out video content for Monday and Tuesday selections unless it is an exception. Hopefully that makes sense. The best way to keep in touch and know what's going on, other than I will always try my best to let you know on the on here, is to subscribe to the channel. It's not a dark art. You literally press subscribe, and I don't get any personal details. I don't know unless you are one of those public subscribers, which I don't really understand. Literally press subscribe and it just will ping you a notification on YouTube to say the next video's out. It's as simple as that. It doesn't cost you anything. You just literally press a button and it comes out. So yeah, the best way to find out when the next video is to have it on subscribe. All right, that is it. I think that was all I was going to say. But yeah, it's just nice. It's nice to, even if it's just a respite for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I mean, despite the fact last Saturday we had the second worst day ever, we're still in a little nice patch of a couple of weeks, and it might go off the rails tomorrow, but it's 15 quid, and over the course of the channel's lifetime, I think we can afford it. Appreciate if you can't afford £15, don't bet it, because there's no guarantees here. So just make sure responsible gambling is adhered to. I don't talk about this all the time. What I'm doing is supposed to be fun, and so yes, I might make the bets a little bit complicated. I'm trying to make it interesting and trying to put something out through the day. I've said it before, I'm not looking at this for what I do on the channel to 100% try and go, what's the best possible way of making profit. I'm trying to make long-term profit, but I don't necessarily do everything to the nth degree. A lot of it is around actually putting together a staking plan, but long-term, the proof's in the pudding, and long-term, the channel stats say we've made 27% profit margin in 16 months on horse racing bets. So it's all right. So I know some people are like, well, what do you mean you can make more and you don't? And I'm like, I'm trying to make it interesting. Oh, I know. Last thing, forgot to say. There was a horse that wasn't on here that was a little something or other extra, and I'm now going to desperately just try and find it on my phone. It was a side bet, which the last few I've put out have been absolute pants. So take it with whatever risk you would like. It is just checking it's still available. Yes. 305 Wetherby, extra bet. If you stay till the end, this might be a gem, it might be toilet, I don't know. 305 Wetherby, 6-runner race. I think every horse in the race has got some level of question mark against it. And there's a horse running in there called Flashbulb that ran in Ireland originally, and ran 3 decent enough races. It came to the UK, it ran on all weather twice, was terrible, ran on jumps, terrible. And that's why the horse is 50 to 1. So it's 50 to 1 first 2 in the 6-runner race. Now, it might be worth a little wager. I didn't do it on the channel, and I might live to regret it. What I do think is a much better bet than the 50 to 1 2 places is Bet365 45 to 1 3 places. I think that is a better value bet than 50 to 1 2 places. But you also, with that Bet365 45 to 1, quarter of the odds as well. And I've talked about this before. People don't really understand the difference between a quarter and a fifth and think, well, how much difference can it make? It can make a real difference if you're looking at it in multiples, but even a quarter of 45 is 11.25 to 1. So that is better than a fifth, which would be 9. So you're getting 2.25 points Do you know what? I really always try and stay away from anything complicated maths. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I just don't talk about on here because I don't want to overcomplicate it. But hopefully people get that. I just worry about fractions and whatever. But basically, what you're saying is if the horse comes placed, you get 9. You don't get 9. You get 11.25, and therefore that's the difference between a quarter and a fifth. Anywho, what I'm saying is it's worth a go. 45 to 1, the free place market. All right, that's it. That was loads more waffle than I expected. Sorry. I wasn't intending just to chunter on. I really like to go to bed. So I will be back possibly Monday morning. Otherwise, it will be Tuesday night for Wednesday's selections. Thank you very much. I just appreciate all the support from all you lovely people that chime in. I know not everyone's as keen, but the vast majority do interact with the channel. Thank you very much because, yeah, you constantly put a smile on my face when I go have a little spin through the comments of things that you say. So thank you very much. It is all very much appreciated. See you next time. Bye-bye.